Oh hey folks, this is the Gamer Nerd, and today I'm going to be commentating on Train Sim World. Well, at least my first episode of it. Do I have plans on redoing this episode? Absolutely. As I ended up getting something I didn't actually get, or maybe something went wrong. I don't know. Point is, I'm planning on doing this episode over. Alright. This is where I enter my profile name. Now, I've edited this video down to cut down on loading screens as well as to save time. And yes, there is a tutorial level in this game called Welcome to Train Sim World.
This is the main interaction method in Train Sim World.
Alright, so basically what this tutorial is running us through is the how the interface of Train Sim World is going to work, the HUD, and all its surroundings. A new practice of the camera, which is also pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to invert my vertical axis.
And when it asks you if you want to invert your vertical axis, say yes, because it's easier for me if the vertical axis is inverted as opposed to the horizontal axis.
This is one of many interactives to be discovered, but not all of them will be as easy to find as this one.
This is a pretty interesting point in Train Sim World. You have to find various objects while completing scenarios.
Climb aboard the train.
For example, this door.
Head over and sit in the indicated seat. You can pause the game at any point and review the previous and current tasks. Check it out now, then return to the game when ready.
This is actually an interesting rundown of what the controls you use on the PlayStation 4 would be, which is pretty awesome in and of itself. Now, I don't hide the HUD in this game for the reason that I needed to keep track of time, as well as some other things. Now, I know some objects on the HUD could be redundant, like the speed and the brake pressure gauge, because those are on the train itself, but not everything can be found on the train. Like, the engineer's side of the train has no clock in it, for instance.
The white needle shows current speed, and the red mark
kind of hard to keep track of time, don't you think?
This is a direction display. An arrow will indicate forward,
which is actually pretty helpful.
This is the power display. A number will indicate what position
that is also pretty helpful.
These are brake pressure dials. They will indicate how much pressure is in various brake systems and show when the pressure is changing.
Alrighty,
in the top right are the signal and speed limit displays.
Like I mentioned before,
Of what is approaching and a countdown distance to when they
in the bottom right corner is also the timer, which helps keep track of time when the trains are arriving and departing and all that stuff. Like, I may be ahead or behind a certain departure time, because, yeah, sometimes I do get a little behind,
Ready to go. Pull the indicator
so
handle
forgive
all
me
the
for
way
that.
back and get
I'm
moving.
still learning the controls of trains. Okay. Now, one thing I didn't notice when I was taking this tutorial is that I was in control of
Continue your journey in Train Sim
the Great
World.
Western
Take part in
Express.
training designed to teach you how to operate on the railway. Engage in scenarios that will present challenges and enhance your skills. Dive into a full timetable on the railway. Whether you're driving, riding, or watching trains, you have the freedom of the line. Each route has a set of jobs such as posters to place or fences to fix. Find them all and complete the job list for each route. Welcome to Train Sim World.
Ooh, thank you.
Oh yeah,
I won't let you down, sir.
that is pretty awesome.
Man, this is some kind of awesome.
I won't let you down.
Let's go to the main menu and see what's up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we have all the DLC for the routes. East Coastway, Ryan New Austin,
Oh yes. I forgot to mention.
Corridor,
I purchased all the route DLC
Keys Valley Line, Main
and I think a couple of rolling stock DLCs.
Long Island Railroad, Rouge Sud Nord, West Somerset Railway, Rapid Transit, Great Western Express, and NEC New York. Alright, so
Oh yeah.
I'm going to do the East Coastway line.
I should take mention that
When I start to my journey,
I was doing some East Coastway missions,
welcome to East Coastway.
which take place on a 3774 multiple unit.
So this is the East Coastway train station.
So we can press X to begin.
This is Brighton Station.
If I redo this,
Terminus
I'll
of the Brighton
probably
Main Line
do
from
it
London
under the
and hub for several
Great
railways
Western
operating along the
Express
south coast of
or
England. Head over to
possibly
platform 6
the
to catch a train.
Peninsula Corridor line. Okay,
1530 to East Shore.
at platform 6, and I need to take the 3:30 p.m. train to Eastbourne.
Okay. I'll pick this one.
Now I need to find a seat.
This should be a
The
nice
East Coastway route provides vital transportation between historic towns, seaside resorts and coastal industry. You'll have the chance to experience both passenger
Yeah.
and freight operations in the area.
ride. Okay. Should be pretty good.
Yeah, you know this is gonna be awesome when you look out the window and see what you're gonna be getting into.
You're currently riding a Class 3774 electric multiple unit. These run as 4, 8 and 12 car formations and operate all of the passenger services along this line.
Now each route introduction offers some basic information of the car you're riding in, as well as the different camera
Train Sim
angles you
World
can
allows you
play
to
around
ride
with
and
while
drive trains
driving
with
the
a selection
train.
of
As
external
the
and external
engineer
camera angles. Let's take a look now while exploring the exterior of this train.
or driver as they call it in England. Or you can use the exterior cameras to take a look at what's going on around the train. Oh, and you can press the triangle button to drive the train while in the external camera. Or you can navigate the camera like I'm doing here.
Other internal and external
Now I
camera
find
views
that
are available to be
pretty
explored.
awesome.
These can be accessed from the camera menu.
Alrighty then.
You've only travelled a short distance here, so let's
Let's
take a
go
look
back
at
to the
what
passenger
else there is to
view
enjoy.
and see.
Welcome to the East Coastway. Take on the challenge of keeping
And we should be
commuters
good.
on the move. Drive over towering viaducts, around rolling hills, and through coastal towns. Operate a multitude of service patterns between a variety of destinations. Deal with on-the-job and line-side emergencies. Along the way, be sure to place route maps, open ticket machines, fix
Wow.
damaged fences, and introduce new cycle maintenance points. Choose passenger or freight operations and take a trip along the East Coastway.
Alright, looks like my introduction is done.
Oh yeah.
Let's get started then.
Looks like I'm gaining a couple of levels here.
Should be awesome. Let's do an introduction to the class 377.
And this is where I get started into doing multiple takes of the class 377 introduction. Yeah, I probably should have gone ahead and trimmed down the that part of the video, and yeah, you know, it was kind of a mess all around, to be honest. Okay.
Alright, the class 377 introduction.
Welcome to this class.
I forgot to cut down that
377
loading screen right there
electric
because,
multiple unit in
yeah.
Southern Italy. This brief introduction will cover basic driving controls, passenger door operation, and recovery from an emergency stop. Climb aboard to get started.
Interesting.
A lot of time will be spent in the driver's seat.
Alright. Let's make sure to close the door.
Activate the control desk.
I know you can't hear my voice very well in the actual video because my mic wasn't working properly.
The direction switch is used to determine the direction of travel.
Probably the mic wasn't working at all, to be honest. Because it's basically just a pair of headphones and not a
Apply some
mic.
power now to get moving.
Okay.
Reduce the power and
Looks
allow
like I've applied some power.
to slow down and stop. Move the power brake controller into the brake range.
Okay, let's see if I can do that.
Looks like I'll need to be prepared to stop.
Let's see if I do actually stop. I was curious as to what the thumping noise was. I must have been hitting something on the track, or
Okay, what's going on?
I really don't know at this point. still driving under the speed limit. Got good action points. Now, I apologize if the sudden camera motion makes you sick. That's why I included a warning in the description of the original video. So, yeah. Had to get that out of the way. Okay, I think I stopped short there, so need to add a little more power and try again. Oh, really? I still stopped short? Whoa.
Oops. Yeah, I failed.
Oh, great.
Right there.
You failed because you passed the signal of danger.
Looks like I'm gonna have to try again.
Yeah, I failed for passing a signal of danger.
Okay, take 2 of this tutorial.
And yes, I did need you to try again. A total of 3 times, no less, to get this tutorial down pat.
Welcome to this Class 3774 electric multiple unit in Southern Livery. This brief introduction will cover basic driving controls, passenger door operation, and
Yeah,
recovery from an
let's
emergency stop.
get on with it, shall we?
Climb aboard to get started.
Okay.
A lot of time will be spent in the
I'm
driver's
unlocking
seat.
the door, climbing in. I also have to lock the door
Activate
back.
the control desk as indicated.
And yes, I have to sit in the engineer's seat.
The direction switch is used to determine the direction of travel.
Now, since I'm playing the PS4 version, I may have to take my eyes off, or
Apply some power now
Or-
to get moving.
I may have to move the camera off the road and onto what I need to look at in order to get everything working. So, yeah, that's what makes the PS4
Reduce the
version
power and allow the
different from the
slow down and stop. Move the power brake
PC
controller into
version.
the brake range.
because of all the PC shortcut keys, you know. Now, this game is just crying out for some sort of VR support, because it desperately needs it, you know.
Prepare to stop.
Alrighty. Now let's see how I do in this one. I will be posting a redo video very soon, so be prepared for that. Alright, we're still breaking, and to be honest, this is kind of weird to be suddenly braking and accelerating a 377435A electric multiple unit. Alrighty then. Alright, we're getting close to the stop, so wait. Yeah, I ended up stopping a little short there, so oh, come on, really? I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep the original video up. For reasons. Sorry if I'm rambling on a bit, but yeah. Still working on any
Wait here until clearance is given to continue.
stopping. Oh yes. And this is where waiting is important. Now it's only on the third or so take that I actually fast forward through the parts where I have no control. So grab yourself some popcorn, take a bathroom break while we wait for the train to pass. And yeah. Should be interesting to watch. How slow has this train been moving, like 3 miles an hour or something? And I'm waiting for this. Oh, now the signal clears up. Now I need to stop at Brighton. Alrighty then. Let's see how I do on that one. Now, as far as mic capabilities go, it was kind of hard to hear me. I think I need some sort of headset mic, like a Turtle Beach or something, 'cause that would have helped tremendously. For videos like this one.
Use the power brake controller to apply some brake force to stop
And-
at the indicated point.
And now we're waiting to
If you
stop.
stop short, apply power again to get moving.
Okay, been doing pretty good so far. Now there's one thing I forget to do when switching cars. Alright. Wait a minute, I stopped short.
Take a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
You know that? You know what always bothered me? The whole stopping on the target thing. And passengers are loading. Oh right, car shut down. Turning off the direction switch.
Passengers boarding. Shut down this cab and
Setting the master key off. But there's one thing I forgot to do. Release the brakes. This will come back to bite me later. And yes, I fast forward through this in my third playthrough. So you'll understand why I'm using a VR headset for the microphone instead of a headset mic or something.
Set the controls as before in preparation to move. It's time to depart. Set the doors to locked.
Didn't you forget something?
The route ahead has been granted, so apply power to get moving. Be aware that before arriving at the next station, an emergency stop will be simulated.
And then this is where I realize I need to idle the brake thing. I forgot to switch the brake to off on the other car. So that results in me needing a third try. Which is less than pleasant, so to speak. No, I am not kidding you. You really are that bad at driving trains, aren't you? Strange thing that they had hazard lights. At least they got a cool horn, though. Cool two-tone horn. Unfortunately, the PS4 controller doesn't have shortcut keys, so you'll be taking your eyes off the road a lot. Come on. Well, why are you not realizing that the video didn't record my voice for this third part? Oh, now you realize it. Or rather, this third take of Train Sim World's Class 377 introduction tutorial, so I'm adding it here in post. So, oh, really? That'll help. That explains why I have to use my VR headset for the mic.
Welcome to this Class 3774 electric multiple unit in Southern Livery. This brief introduction will cover basic driving controls, passenger door operation, and recovery from an emergency stop.
Alright.
Climb aboard to get started.
Okay, so we need to unlock the door here.
A lot of time will be spent in the driver's seat.
And close it.
Activate the control desk as indicated.
Okay, so you can imagine me
this
clearing
order, we
my
need
throat
to
there
turn
for
the master
quite a
key to
bit.
on.
Set the
Direction
reverser
switch
handle
is
to
used determine
forward.
the direction of travel.
And
Some
now
power now to get moving.
we need to apply some power. Anyhow, okay. My phone was pinging in the background, so
Move the power brake controller
yeah.
into brake range.
Okay. They covered braking here. Alright, and the next location I have to stop at is the depot exit signal. So I don't understand why I would have to stop at it except to allow a train to cross. In about 300 yards, I will come upon a prepare to stop signal. I've been checking the cameras to make sure I've got a clear indication of where and when to stop. Now, due to the limited button layout on the PS4
on the left
controller, you can see the. I will occasionally have to take my eyes off the road. The train stopped right beside me to check on something. I applied braking a little bit early, but still. Gotta keep it as comfortable for the passengers as I can. Following speed regulations and whatnot. Alrighty then. And this is where you need to stop. Yeah, kind of listening to myself talk there. Sorry for the silence in this commentary. Signal. Yeah, you got that right, past me. Okay. I kind of stopped short there, so I'll have to try again. Once again, I stopped short, so again. I stopped short again. Okay. Alright.
Brighton is a busy station.
And I don't want to pass the signal of danger and risk failing. And while we wait, let's talk about the stopping procedure. Okay. You don't just stop pretty close to the target on some of the parts of this exercise. You have to stop right on the target. And that is kind of annoying. That... Our next location. Yeah, I agree with past me on that because. And what's that thumping noise? I tended to stop short in some areas. I thought I must have heard something, but oh well. I think that was the car. Alright. Anyhow. Trying to keep the throttle within the 15-mile-an-hour range until our rear of the train passes it and the speedometer updates to show the new speed limit. Okay, there we go. Our speedometer has updated, so we can travel at the new speed limit, but we're not going to go all the way up to it. because we'll still have to stop at Brighton. And the reason why... And yes, I mentioned up to about 18 miles stopping at Brighton, because that's the... It's because of the eventual stop that we'll need to make.
Use the power brake controller to apply some brake force to stop at the indicated point. If you stop short, apply power again to get moving.
Okay. Okay. Alright then. Let's see how far we can get till we get stopped. Alright. We're getting closer, we're getting closer. Alright. Right about there? No. What the heck? I have trouble estimating how far I need to stop, since I just had to double check something. Did you know that?
Take a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe.
That explains it. I know that's the head out left. And this is the part where we load our passengers. I'm looking for the... Oh, there's the front cam. And this is where things are going to speed up here. And now it's time to shut down our car. Okay. So before you do anything else,
with passengers boarding, shut down
after
head to the other end of the train to prepare
before you even switch cars, and the one thing I forgot to do last time idle the brake is to disengage the brake, which is pretty important there, as you'll be going to the next cab in a short while. And yes, I fast forwarded to this part, so if any of you are motion sick from watching this, skip ahead to where I get inside the driver's cab, or the engineer's cab in the US.
In preparation to move.
Master key turned on. Direction to forward.
It's time to depart. Set the doors to locked.
Since we're in the rear cab, the doors locked will be to our left this time. And so we're going to get moving.
Granted, so apply power to get moving. Be aware that before arriving at the next station, an emergency stop will be simulated.
Right. And like that lady said, an emergency stop will come up shortly before our next stop. Now, before we arrive at the next station, like the tutorial announcer said, we will have to go through a simulated emergency stop. So our next location is is something road. Let's see. I was trying to read it because because of the small screen and everything. Oh, it's the station I was at previously. Oh, okay. Oh. Had to do a little bit of braking because I thought, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of rambling on a bit there. This is probably the most interesting train of them all. Also, gotta say, I love the attention to detail in Train Sim World. Simulating all the possible routes that your train can drive on. Oh, it's an emergency stop. Oh, okay.
To recover from this situation, the controls must first be reset. Follow the indicated steps.
Okay, to recover from an emergency stop, we need to set the direction switch to off. Then set the direction switch to forward. And set the power brake handle to off.
The train is ready to move again. Continue on to the next station.
Alright, let's go ahead and do that. This should be pretty amazing. So, the emergency stop was simulated because sometimes the train might have to get into an emergency stop, and station is now Brighton Road, I think. You might have to recover from the situation. Okay, so unless I'm reading it wrong due to the small screen, as you can see, I just passed by a signal that read 35 to 55. The lower speed limit, I think, only applies to freight trains.
Use the brake controller to apply some brake force to stop at the indicated point. If you stop short, apply power again to get moving.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, I'm waiting for the train to reach the indicated speed. So, yeah. We're coming close to the end of the indicated platform. So once we reach that point, we should make our stop. Now, for PTG Rail passengers, the channel I subscribe to for this kind of now for PTG Rail. Sorry for the bit. Now for PTG Rail, while I was through the loading passengers, the YouTuber I subscribe to, just had to double check something. Anyhow.
Good work. That concludes this introduction.
Anyhow.
Details on the operation of this train can be found in the manual.
Looks like I did pretty well. And I earned a gold medal for it. And that is pretty awesome. Up next, we're gonna do my first real world. Yeah, I did pretty awesome application of all I've learned in Train Sim World, the French Connection. And that is going to be pretty awesome. So stay tuned and yes, and enjoy this next part in Train Sim World. Yes, I'm doing the French Connection next. Because it's going to be real awesome. French Connection on the East Coastway line of Train Sim World. Since most of the railroads I will be using in Train Sim World are pretty much British railroads. Yeah, this is going to be real awesome. The engineer side is so stay tuned. I say engineer. Welcome to Luz. Sometimes it's engineers, sometimes it's drivers. I don't know which is which. Alrighty then. Let's get in the driver's seat.
set the master key to on,
Alright.
and set the directional switch to forward. And now, we'll need to unlock the doors.
Now to unlock the doors, you need to hold down the
Everyone's
left
boarded. Let's lock the doors.
button on the D-pad until the
Alright.
door locking and unlocking mechanisms show up. Then you have to choose whether to unlock the left doors, unlock the right doors, etc., etc. Up next, we need to go to New Haven Harbor, because this should be awesome.
Looks like I'll need to be prepared to stop
And yeah, it is kind of
somewhere
slow
within the
to
60-yard
start.
range. I'll
I said 60 yard and I meant 600 yard.
So we'll have to be prepared to stop on the next. Oh, now it looks like the upcoming signal has
I think
cleared.
which means it's changed to green. Mean the track ahead is gonna be cleared. Okay, so I'm doing about 30 miles an hour on this train.
Now, when it comes to speed limits on trains, you need to wait for the tail end of the car to pass the speed limit before the speed limit comes into effect.
And yes, the speed limit change will be reflected on the hood.
40 miles an
So
hour right now, so the reason I'm doing 40 miles an hour is because
another good reason why I drive with a HUD. So it's like so that I know the different speed changes. They should put like the red lights on trains to let people know the maximum permitted speed.
But eventually we will get a speed increase to 70,
And I can see now.
which will allow more free roam to drive the train.
But I'll only be able to go up to 60 at this point, so... Alright.
Okay. Green aspect, which means we're good to go. Still doing pretty good.
Alright. This should be interesting.
We have about
Still driving under the speed limit, of course.
I wasn't sure if that was a W board or
I'll be honest,
so I blew the horn there.
alright then. So I got 800 action points so far. I must be doing something right. Since Train Sim World 2020 is still kind of new, there's not much in the way of routes available, so
And
so
we're
as you can see, the
passing one
speed
of the
changed to
stations
60 on
in
that
order to get to New Haven
board.
Harbor.
I don't know which station I passed, but still.
I think when the boards
Thought
are
I had to
divided
apply the brakes for a
between,
little bit, but
like 50
Yeah.
and 70, the lower speed limit usually applies to like freight trains or something. Though I could be wrong.
they usually are. The lower speed limit's usually like for freight trains, unless I'm mistaken. I'll have to ask PTG Rail on that.
I think it, according to the blasting and the horn on the whistle board, it's long, long, short, long. And we have about
Yeah, you're right on
a
that.
mile to go until our next signal aspect. 1.5 miles to go till the 35-mile-an-hour speed change. And 2 miles to go until our next stop.
Alrighty then. Now the big question is, will I redo this episode? Yes. No question about it. When will I redo it? I don't know. We'll see.
Still making pretty good time on this route. Okay, so I've dropped my speed down to 35 in preparation for the speed change there. Okay, the 15-mile-an-hour
Alright
speed
then.
limit only applies if you're on the right-hand lane.
Alright, so doing pretty good so far, doing pretty good.
Come across a green signal aspect. Still doing 32 right now. And in 35-mile-an-hour zone. Now I'll need to be prepared to stop at some point.
Alright.
Okay, I see a yellow aspect. That means that the next...
Which is now
at the
changed
next
to red.
signal, I will have to stop.
Yeah, my braking wasn't perfect. But it wasn't the worst braking
The
either.
Dunkirk has just docked to the station. Passengers can now make their way over and prepare for boarding.
Okay, so with that,
Okay, so with that said, we need to
we are gonna go
unlock the
ahead
left
and
doors
load passengers.
and wait for passengers to load. All
Yeah,
aboard.
just like that.
The train doors are now closing. Please mind the gap. That's it for this one. Thanks for lending a hand. You're welcome.
Ooh, wow, I did pretty good. But how good did I do?
Now, how did I do? Ooh, gold medal. Nice.
Now, everything you do in Train Sim World earns you experience points that you use to gain
Our
levels.
next journey will be 2
As you do more missions, you'll gain more levels.
from New Haven to Brighton. From New Haven Marine to Brighton. So stay tuned for that in the next episode.
Oh, New Haven Marine, huh?
Wow. That was quite a lot of editing.
Alrighty then.
Editing down
So, this was a pretty cool episode, but sadly it's gonna have to be redone. So, yeah. Well, if you liked what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Gamer Nerd, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everyone.
Anyway, join us for more Train Sim World next time. See you later, everyone.
Today, time is 57 degrees. Tonight, aircraft cover with a low of 39. Today, time is 57 degrees. Tonight, aircraft cover with a low of 39.